Gladys, which field is marketable? Should I ask my kid to go into engineering, into law, into medicine? These are some of the questions that I get a lot of times. And I don't know the answer, but one thing I know is that you cannot future-proof your career. I hope I'm not the first one to bring this sad news. I think we are all seeing how things are shaking up in the job market, in the career space. We thought things were stabilizing, and then boom, COVID. All of a sudden, we are working from home. There is this virtual thing. We are trying to learn it. Just when we were about to settle after COVID, AI, and it's not going anywhere. It just keeps changing, and now we are scared, especially with the young generation coming up. Which career should I pursue that AI will not disrupt, that is safe enough? Sad news is that you cannot bet. At least not now. Things are changing so fast. But here, allow me to propose 3 things that you can do that will still make it easier. 3 powerful ways to future-proof your job or your career. Number 1 is understand money and wealth creation, and I will tell you why. Number 2 is you lean towards the human connection, human network side of things more. Number 3, embrace multidisciplinary, curious, adaptable mindset. Let's start with money and wealth creation. The reason why I started with this is when I was growing up in Kenya, and I think this is a story of many people, we tend to choose the courses that we pursue, the fields that we want to go into. The first thing we want to know, how much money will I be making? Will this thing give me money? Because where I come from, education is not for fun. Education is an investment. People are selling land, selling property for kids to go to school. And so it better generate income. There is no way I'm selling land to take you to school just for fun, just so that you do these things for fun. It better be making money, and it better be making good money. If money wasn't a problem, will you still choose to do medicine? Will you still choose to do engineering, to do law, if money wasn't a problem? And so that's why I'm proposing that the first thing is, if you learn how money and wealth creation works, then it will remove the pressure. So that whatever course, whatever career, if it will not give you money in the end, or if you want to detour and go into another field, you will not have a lot of pressure, or people around you who educated you, invested in you, will not have a lot of pressure because you are fine. Like, at least money is coming in. There is something I don't know, I've heard these people mentioning this. I do not know why we are not taught about money and wealth creation in school. Well, I know we were taught about, I think there was a unit in undergrad about finances and entrepreneurship, but it was the theoretical type. It wasn't like the practical type. And I don't know why we are not taught this in school. Maybe there is a reason. And if I was to go back to school, to undergrad, I'll actually skip one of those. I used to go to the library a lot. I would actually skip one night. I would not go to the library for night preps. Instead, I'll read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If you've never come across this book by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, get it. Read it, start practicing. This book will teach you basics, financial basics. And then, of course, once you read it, please practice, because then it's useless if you don't practice. And the propositions, some of the basics in the book is that painful lessons that I learned. I was like, ouch. Rich don't just work for money. They make money work for them. And then it got me thinking. I was like, okay, then what we've been taught, the story we've been told, then is a wrong story. Because where I grew up, we were told, you choose a nice course that will give you good money, you earn that money, you take a little bit, you save, and then you stay in that job, rise in the ranks, and then retire at 60 or 65, and then get some pension. I'm realizing, wait a minute, something is not adding up, because how rich people see money is very different from how we were told to handle money. You need to make money work for you. And that book will give you some of the examples. Also, go to YouTube or podcast. And obviously out here, there are people who are giving wrong financial advices. But of course, yes, put on that filter. But just listen to people teaching on these things. Learn what is an asset, what is a liability. Especially when you are young, just out of college, about to receive that paycheck. Financial education is key, and I think I'm still relatively young, but I just wish I had even known these things in my 20s, because I think I wasted a lot of my money. Now I'm investing in my financial education, and it's just changing me. It's just changing how I see money and wealth creation, and therefore even how I see careers. And just to break and just to break your dreams even more. And I think you know this. Job security is not enough anymore, especially with the AI and many things that are happening in this world, with the gig economy, with the new generation, Gen Zs and Gen Alphas coming in, and they are changing how things are done. Who knows what will happen in the next 5-10 years? A lot of jobs will be, at least that we know, will not be existing. They'll be gone. So my proposition is, just what if you learn how money works and you learn how wealth creation works, so that you build income streams, and I feel like somehow it will then reduce the pressure. Whatever career you choose or whatever job you choose to do during the day, it doesn't really matter, because you are safe. You can pay your bills and support whoever you're supporting. At least from where I come from, we have a long list of people we support back home. So at least that reduces pressure a little bit. Number 2, networking and human connections. Guys, AI will be here. AI will develop. Technology will continue developing. But let me tell you one thing that I know for sure: human connection, that need for love, need for trust, need for belonging. Those are human needs, and they will not go away. Heck, there are people out here, just because technology and careers, we've been isolated, we are all alone, and then all of a sudden we realize, gosh, we cannot do this, we still need to meet other human beings. That's why dating apps are here, to provide a safe platform for people to connect, to trust, to love, to belong. And these guys are making millions of money just making a platform for people to practice what is human: love, trust, belong, connect. And so as you build your job, your career, if you lean on the connection, the networking side, you'll be safe. Those things will be needed even when AI is doing everything else. There is a guest of mine on Gen Inspire, and I was asking them to reflect and point out just one lesson they've learned in life and in career, and they said opportunities are with people. And when you think about it, it's actually true. Another guest, Dr. Onji, we were chatting about how most companies, most organizations feel their open opportunities, open jobs internally or through internal referrals. Because it was a crazy number. Was it like 50% or 60%? Definitely more than 50% of jobs, opportunities are filled either internally or through internal referrals. And I was like, if you don't know anyone in that company, then how are you supposed to survive? So opportunities flow through people. Jobs, contracts, partnerships, they come through people. They come through building relationships. And so if you can lean on networking, building genuine connections with people, you should not even worry about your job, about your career. These are the things that will future-proof your career. The last one, multidisciplinary mindset. Be adaptable. I'm very passionate about this because after undergrad, I was struggling to get a job. Maybe because I had not been told that opportunities are with people, and I did not know anyone to reach out to. I was the first person in my family to go to uni. And so that job market was really, I was just walking blind, almost blind. I did not know what I was supposed to do. I don't think I even brushed my CV to the level required. I did not know those things. But anyway, so I struggled to get a job. And I remember at some point just accepting a job at a bank. I had studied mechanical engineering and I ended up working in a bank. When I now reflect, some of the skills like some little financial stuff there, accounting, customer care, I learned so much. One time in uni, there was an opportunity for internship in a 5-star hotel. And some of my classmates were like, I'm not sure, I don't want to work in a hotel. I want to work in a proper engineering company, right? Not a hospitality industry. But I was open-minded. Or rather, was I open-minded or I didn't have an option? I needed an internship. So I ended up interning in a hotel. I learned how to speak to people. In fact, there was a running joke. We were told engineers from the engineering department at the hotel, and maybe you are wondering what we were doing at the hotel, because of my course was mechanical engineering. We were literally repairing and maintaining air conditioning in the hotel rooms. So this hotel is in Mombasa, like coast of Kenya, very warm and hot climate. ACs were running pretty much all day, and so they need like close care, maintenance, repairs, etc. But there was a running joke at the hotel that engineers, please never, unless it's urgent, unless someone is dying, do not speak, do not converse with our guests. And the joke was engineers did not know how to be warm and how to talk to guests at the hotel. And so we were told that leave that to people who are hired and trained customer care people. Anyway, at some point we were trained just in case you are repairing an AC in the room and the guest starts conversation. You just can't keep quiet. You have to talk to them. And so we were taken through seminars to be taught how to be warm and how to talk to a guest. I learned so much by just being adaptable and embracing those opportunities that were not hardcore engineering. Things that are helping me even as I market. I have a book that I'm marketing. Like those are soft skills that are super helpful when I look back now, and I'm happy I was open-minded and I embraced those. So the world is changing, and long gone are the days when if you decided to teach, you go to a teacher's training college, and before even you finish your school, like literally you have a job offer, and then you will stay in that job until you retire. Like the job was secure. There was less competition. The world was different back then. Now things have really changed. So you could be a doctor. I encourage you, do your doctor thing. If you have time, come on these YouTube streets and tell us how you trained as a doctor, what the job involves. There is this doctor that I really admire. They trained as a doctor, and then they were doing content creation part-time. Before long, the content creation thing ballooned, and he says he loves content creation. Now he's an entrepreneur and doing YouTube full-time. Things are changing. Careers don't have to be the way we knew, and it's okay to explore multiple interests. You just never know where they may lead. You could be, I don't know, an engineer during the day, but you're also like writing. The way I realized I actually like sharing my ideas through now here on YouTube, but also through books. I started doing through books. Now I have 3 books just by being open, and I was like, I like to share my ideas and I like to write, and it's giving me business, it's giving me money. And so be open to other fields, but also open to explore those passions and those interests, because you just never know what doors they will open. When I was writing, and I've been talking a lot about being curious and exploring your passion, I was reading the story, I think you know, and I would encourage you maybe watch it, the commencement speech by Steve Jobs in 2000. And he was speaking about how when he dropped out of school, he would just sneak to some classes that he loved and he was curious about. And he speaks about one particular class. He did not know where that would lead. And then 10 years later, when he was building Apple products, the lessons he learned from that class came in handy. And he said in reflection that dots don't connect looking forward, they only connect looking backwards. My encouragement is that do not limit yourself. The days of studying one thing with the hope of getting a well-paying job and staying in that job until you retire, long gone. I think that you already know. So don't limit yourself. If you have an interest, explore it. You never know. Successful people tomorrow will not be the ones who stayed in one lane, narrow lane, all of their lives. They will be the people who build those human connections, and they were adaptable, they learned different skills along the way, and they will thrive.